Hello students, in today's video we are going to study rheology of fermentation fluids, which is a part of topic bioprocess engineering, which is a part of syllabus of GATE B exam. So let's start. So first of all, what is rheology? Rheology is the science that concerns with the flow of liquids and deformation of solids. So it is basically related to the flow of liquids and deformation of different solids. Now what are the categories of the flow? So students, just consider that because in this course it will be related to the rheology of the fermentation fluids. So it is basically liquid part, not the solid. So we are going to study about the flow. So there are two types of flows, Newtonian flow and non-Newtonian flow. Now coming to the terminology, stress and strain are frequently used terms in rheology subject. What is stress? Stress is the force applied to a material divided by the material's cross-sectional area. It is denoted by sigma. Sigma is equals to force divided by area. So F by A naught. So here sigma is the stress and its units are Newton per meter square or Pascal. F is the force in Newton. A naught is the original cross-sectional area. The unit is meter square. Now coming to the shear stress. A shear stress is applied onto the top of the square while bottom is held in place. So bottom is fixed and stress is applied on the top. Okay, like here it is shown in the diagram. This stress results in a strain or deformation. Strain is nothing but deformation as a result of stress. So changing in the changing the square into the parallelogram. So when on the top of the square, if stress is applied, that is called as shear stress, a strain is developed which is called as deformation. That deformation will result into change in the structure of the square into the parallelogram. What is shear rate? Shear rate is the rate of change of velocity at which one layer of the fluid is passing over adjacent layer. So consider a flow of liquid. Suppose there is flow of water through a pipe. So how we can imagine the flow of the fluid? Like different layers are present on the top of each other, and what is the rate of change of velocity at which one layer of fluid passes over the adjacent layer of the fluid. Now coming to the strain. What is a strain? Strain is the deformation or displacement of material that results from an applied stress. It is denoted by epsilon. Epsilon is equals to L minus L naught by L naught. So here epsilon is the strain, L is the length after the load is applied in millimeter, L naught is the original length in millimeter. Okay, and uh, the change in the length divided by original length is the strain. A material's change in length L minus L naught is sometimes represented as delta, delta L, or simply by delta. Now coming to the Newtonian law of flow. So this law, as the name suggests, given by Newton, and it is called as Newtonian law of flow or Newtonian model. What it says, the higher the velocity of the fluid, the greater is the force per unit area required to produce a certain rate of shear. So more is the viscosity of the fluid, greater is the force required to produce a certain amount of deformation or certain rate of shear. The constant of proportionality is called as viscosity. So here in the graph you see on the y-axis there is shear stress and on the x-axis there is shear rate. So it is a linear relationship and the constant of proportionality is called as viscosity. Water is a Newtonian fluid because it continues to exemplify fluid properties no matter how fast it is stirred or mixed. So water is called as Newtonian fluid. Why? Because it shows all the properties no matter how fast it is being deformed or how fast it is being stirred and made deformation in it. For a Newtonian fluid, viscosity depends only on temperature and pressure. Always remember that it does not depend upon the stress or strain. It depends only on the temperature and pressure, and also on the chemical composition. So depending upon the chemical composition, what is the chemistry of the fluid, but not on the forces acting upon it. Now coming to the non-Newtonian fluids or flow. A non-Newtonian fluid is a fluid whose flow properties are not described by a single constant value of viscosity. So its properties are not defined by viscosity only. There are other factors coming into the picture. Many polymeric solutions and molten polymer solutions are non-Newtonian. Example: starch solution, ketchup, the sauce you use, ketchup sauce, that is shampoo. These are non-Newtonian. The relationship between shear stress and strain rate is non-linear and can be time dependent. So it is non-linear. It cannot be uh, plotted as a linear line in the graph, and it can be time dependent also. So with time also it is changing. So certain chemicals, certain polymers are there whose properties changes with the time. Now coming to the types of non-Newtonian fluids. First is Bingham plastics. Second is pseudoplastic flow. Third is dilatant flow. Coming up with the Bingham plastics. So here linear stress strain relationship is there, but not starting from the origin. So here the relationship between stress and strain or shear rate is linear, but it is not crossing through the origin. Examples are clay suspension, toothpaste, mayonnaise. Pseudoplastic flow. In this case, viscosity decreases with the increase in shear thinning. Okay, so it is caused by the realignment of polymer and or the release of solvent associated with the polymer when there is stress, shear stress is applied. So whenever there is a force applied, what happens? There is a decrease in the viscosity take place, with resulting in the shear thinning. Example is sodium alginate, methyl cellulose. So these polymers lose the liquid part, lose the water retention and become more thin. Next example is dilatant flow. In this case, the volume increases when shear is applied. Here volume is increasing when sheared. It is also called as shear thickening. So here the material will become thick upon application of shear. In the previous example it became thin, but here it is becoming thicker. Suspension containing high concentration of small deflocculated particles. So there is a suspension where deflocculated particles are present. So when shear stress is applied, these particles will coalesce and make a thicker solution whose volume is also increased because of that. So here a shear stress strain graph for all the fluids is given. So this one, the black colored one, is the Newtonian fluid. Here it is linear relationship. Bingham plastic is also linear but not crossing from the origin. Blue color. Blue color is Bingham plastic. The red color is pseudoplastic fluid where shear thinning is happening. Why thinning? Because the viscosity is decreasing. It is becoming more liquidy in nature. In the green curve. The green curve is example of dilatant fluid where shear thickening is happening and viscosity is increasing with application of shear. Okay. Now there is rheopactic fluids. What are rheopactic fluids? In these kinds of fluids, the strain rate is a function of time. So strain, as you remember, what is strain? Strain is the deformation caused as a result of shear stress. So here the rate of strain is changing with time. The deformation is changing with time. It, it need constant increase in the shear stress to maintain a constant strain rate. So constant application of shear stress is required to produce constant deformation or constant strain rate. Another is thixotropic fluid. What are thixotropic fluids? The fluids that thins out with time. So they are automatically thinning out without application of any stress. These are thixotropic. It requires a decreasing stress to maintain a constant strain rate. So there is a change in the strain is happening with the time. But how can we make it constant, the strain rate constant? How can we make it? By decreasing the stress over a period of time to maintain a constant strain rate. Now coming to the rheology of the fermentation fluids, the fermentation broth is very complex soup or solution. It is a very complex fluid. It is not a simple homogeneous solution of a polymer. It is a very complex soup or solution. Sea of nutrients in which microorganisms grow, reproduce and swim. So here microorganisms are also present, nutrients present, and microorganisms are increasing in their size, they are increasing in their number also. It acts as the medium for various physical and biochemical and physical reactions to take place. The fermentation broth will be implicated in all the mass and heat transfer that occur within the fermenter. So here it, it is involved in all the heat and mass transfer which is occurring within the fermenter, and it will be the medium that holds the fermentation products formed. So in this itself, in the fermentation broth itself, the fermentation products are being produced and being stored. The nature and composition of the fermentation broth temporarily and spatially will affect the efficiency of the fermentation process. So the nature and composition of the fermentation broth. So what is it made up of? What are the constituents? What is the pH? What are the compounds present in it will affect the efficiency of the fermentation process. The interaction between fermentation broth and the various components is complex and can affect in both the direction. Now what is present in the fermentation broth? At any time the composition of fermentation broth is complex, consisting of anything that ends up in the fermentation broth. First is raw substrates, the nutrients of the media, fermentation products, the end products of the fermentation reactions, microorganisms and its derivative components. So microorganisms are present, and upon death of the microorganism they are released into the medium, and their components, their secreted products, for example. Chemical additives added to the fermenter. So there are certain additives are kept for maintaining the pH of the broth, for maintaining different compositions of different properties of the broth. Gases are also present, for example oxygen, carbon dioxide and other metabolic gases. All three main phases, solid, liquid and gases, are present in the fermentation broth, and there is constant interaction at different levels within these components within the fermentation broth. The viscous nature or the rheological properties will affect the mixing regimes of the fermenter. So how efficiently it is being mixed will be dependent on the viscosity of the fermentation broth, that we have studied in our last class also, where we studied about different types of fermenters. Viscosity is not simple but a complex phenomena that always changing and responding to various parameters. Very rarely we can describe a fermentation broth as following a Newtonian behavior, because Newtonian behavior is the ideal behavior where very less complexity is involved. Okay, in most cases it is a complex combination of various non-Newtonian behavior. So it is a mixture of different types of non-Newtonian behaviors. The viscousness of the fermentation broth is caused by the interaction of various components within the fermentation broth. So what are the causes of broth to be viscous? Why it is so viscous? Because of interaction. Sugar or carbohydrates are the main carbon source in the fermentation and they make it sticky. The sugars are sticky, right? And uh, dry sugar is not sticky, it is powder form. Stickiness or viscousness of the sugar in the solution is caused by hydrogen bonding. There is strong hydrogen bonding. OH group, alcohol group is present in the sugars and they are interacting with water and with themselves to make it more viscous. Now, impact of viscosity on the fermentation. What is the impact of viscosity on fermentation process? The most crucial effect is it makes the situation very difficult to achieve proper and complete mixings. So very thick solution is not very well mixed. This will affect various mass transfer processes that occur within the fermenter. So there is not proper mixing of mass. Mass transfer means mass is being transferred from one area to another area within the fermenter. So once it is added, it has to be uniformly distributed, but it is not happening because of the viscosity. Poor mixings due to high viscosity will also result in the formation of various physical and chemical gradients. Viscosity makes scaling up difficult. Why it makes scaling up difficult? What do you mean by scaling up? Scaling up means increasing the volume of the fermenter to achieve more yield, to achieve more product at the end of the process. So difficulty in the mass heat transfer. Because of poor mixing, there is not proper heat and mass transfer taking place within the fermenter. Second is solubility of the components and gases. Solubility of the components will decrease with the increase of viscosity and it may result into the improper supply of nutrients and gases to the microorganism and thereby decrease in the yield of the fermentation. Now this is the last part. What are the different examples of different kind of fermentation broths and processes where different rheological behavior is shown? So as I said earlier, different fermentation media is a mixture of different kinds of flows, non-Newtonian flows. Okay, so in case of nystatin, this is the product name. It is produced by Streptomyces norisii and the main medium ingredient in this case is soybean meal glucose. Here what is the rheological behavior is shown? It is Newtonian. So majorly it is Newtonian. So it is very good example of Newtonian flow of fermentation medium. Penicillin produced by Penicillium chrysogenum. Main component is corn steep, liquor or lactose. It is pseudoplastic. Steroid hydroxylation, it is the process hydroxylation of steroid to make derivatives of it. What is the microorganism involved? Coniotherium haloborai. What is the main ingredient? Salts and glucose. And behavior is plastic and pseudoplastic. Streptomycin. Streptomyces griseus is the microorganism. Main component is soybean meal and glucose. So here also Newtonian you will see along with the plastic flow. So that's all for today's class. I hope it was useful. Please like, share and subscribe my channel so that I keep on posting new videos on difficult topics for your preparation. Thank you everyone. Take care. Bye.